Welcome to our tag team readings. I'm Seth. I do the cards.
Fey, I
Faye.
do runes.
And we're going to do a tag team reading here for you, Aries, for the month of February 2020. And we're going to see what's going on, what's been going on, and where you can expect to be headed.
Good enough. I have a lot of info here. Okay. Boy, you guys have got a lot of stuff going on underneath. Got a lot of stuff going on underneath. All right. The first one that you've got is that's coming up is dealing with protecting yourself or defending yourself. You have it in its upright position, although it's in the subconscious or unseen position, but it does indicate that you are taking care of yourself in an appropriate way currently, whether or not you're aware of it. So if anybody's trying to tell you, oh, you're being over defensive, you're being this, you're being that, yeah, you're pretty much being right on, with what you're doing to protect and defend yourself. Your reactions are not out of bounds.
Okay, Aries, you little fire sign. You're undergoing a spiritual healing. That's what's going on underneath. All the stuff that you've been addicted to in the past is going away. You're going to be addressing it because it's coming to the surface, but it's going to make other people around you really uncomfortable, because when we start growing spiritually, other people get it calls them out on their own shit. So they're not going to necessarily be very supportive of your healing process, but you go, girls and boys.
Which brings me to the next rune that I've got. I guess I'm going to try it this way. This may work. This one is Dagas, and it's a point between darkness and light. It's a point where things are becoming clear, but they're not totally clear. Like if you're up at dawn and you're looking at, oh, I don't know. My favorite example, of course, is a tree. You can tell there's a tree in front of you, but you can't tell if the bark is smooth or rough. You can't tell if the trees, if the leaves are green or if they're brown. And it's that kind of a point where you're beginning to get some clarity. Not everything is clear, but there is some clarity coming in for you.
And that clarity is coming through your divine twin, which we keep seeing this card coming up in the different readings. But it means that you have someone coming into your life that's going to enlighten you. They're a whole lot like you, but they're not in the bad way. You know how sometimes we run into people that are a lot like us and we don't like them because they're too much like us? This is the opposite of that. This is a part of us that we fall in love with ourselves. And it's all about learning about self-love and about partnerships. And Aries, you have a tendency to jump into things really, really quick emotionally because it's like passion. But this one's a little bit slower. I mean, you're going to hit it off right away, but it's a slower, long-acting relationship you're looking at here.
Excuse me, it drove me to drink. Okay, the next runes that you have, I'm actually going to read two with this. The reason why is you have one that's in its downward or subconscious unseen position. It has another rune that's laying up on top of it that's face up, which is an indication that those are directly connected to each other. So I'm going to go ahead and read those both at the same time. The rune that's sitting up on top is Jera, and Jera is cycles. It indicates the beginnings and endings of cycles and stuff. It's kind of like going through the seasons, where it's like each season comes in its natural thing. We have a season of growth, we have a season of planting, we have a season of death, we have a season of harvest. I kind of did those all backwards, but that's okay. Time is irrelevant. At any rate, though, this is talking about seasons and cycles that you go through. So you may be going through something that feels very familiar to you, or like almost deja vu, like I've been here before. The rune that is under this, oh, okay. The rune that's under it is Isa, okay? And Isa deals with ice. It's a block. It's a block in the flow. So it appears to me that you may have come to a halt recently, where it's like you've not been feeling like you're progressing. It feels like you're stuck in that winter phase of the seasons or whatever. So there's not been a lot of movement. There's not been a lot of growth going on for you. And a lot of that is because your emotions are frozen. When the emotions are frozen, one of the things that comes attached to emotions is your ability to use your intuition. So it's like it doesn't feel like you're getting any messages from the universe. It doesn't feel like you're getting anything to go on. Okay. And so I think in a lot of ways you've been feeling very stuck. Seth?
Okay. You're in your moon cycle. That means that a lot of hidden things are coming to the surface that you're going to have to deal with. And it's showing coming together of ideas. It also shows that stuff is being revealed to you that may be a little bit deceptive around you. And this can be self-deception. So, again, I want to go back to things that you do that are self-harming. Like the addictive type of stuff. You're in a time of healing from that. February is a good month of quitting behaviors that are not of your highest good. But it also is a time of coming together of ideas and great creativity and intuition.
Okay, the next two runes, again, you've got that same configuration of one rune sitting on top of the other. The first rune is, again, it deals with defense. And this is the instinctual need to protect or defend. This one is the symbol for the yew tree, and the yew tree was used to make, as an example, bows for bows and arrows, because the wood is extremely flexible. And that's what's being called on right now, is for you to not be rigid. And with you being in that ice flow, your tendency right now is going to be to want to be rigid and to hold on to things. The truth is that you need to allow the flow. You need to allow yourself to let things happen rather than holding yourself firm against the universe. The rune that it's sitting on top of, this rune is Perth. And what this deals with is it deals with karmic relationships. Now you have it in an upright position, which is an indication that the things that are going on around you are partially internalized karma. Those are the lessons that you're coming in to learn on your own. Hey, quit yawning on the cards, you. And part of it is also lessons that you're learning through having other people interacting with you. So you've got a combination of those going right now. And the main thing is to, again, keep yourself flexible, keep yourself open to new ideas. When you seem to be hitting a karmic situation, maybe try to turn yourself on your head, look at it upside down. Seth?
Okay, Aries, you have a tendency to really worry about what other people think. But this is a card of rebirth and renewed energy and renewed activity. You're going to be doing some stuff that you never expected you would do, and it's going to be amazing. An amazing time of energy and growth. But again, it's going to be not normal, or what you would consider normal. And so other people are going to be looking at you a little bit funny. But this is of your highest good. And that's what you're tapping into right now. You're having a spiritual awakening this month. For some reason, February is a month of spiritual awakening for you.
Seems like we're getting that a lot in the readings. Okay. This sort of goes with what he was saying. This is Suelo. It was in its unseen position. And what that is it's the sun. It's growth, it's light, it's clarity, creativity, all of the stuff that basically he was saying. The thing is being open to it. And again, if you're clinging to the ice, if you're not being flexible, that energy won't be able to move in, you know. And in part, you need it to move in order to melt the ice. So I strongly advise, if you do something for your creativity, to do that. If you have something that you do to in order to release stress, whether it be running, exercising, knitting, whatever it is, you know, get involved in that. Allow yourself to access that creativity and that warmth.
Okay, Aries, time to take some risks. Do some stuff that makes you uncomfortable, stuff that makes you expand your thought process. The Knight of Wands is a very fast-moving energy, a very fast-moving time, a lot of curiosity, a lot of passion. Go out and do those things that you really would like to do, but you've always been bound by feeling that you couldn't do it, or other people told you couldn't do it, or you're afraid of what other people are going to think. That keeps coming up with you, is that you're really worried about what other people think. And I would love to tell you just stop doing that, but it's not that easy.
However,
You have to do things in spite of the feeling of fear.
yeah, well, I'm going to tell you to stop doing that. Okay, since he won't. Stop it. Right now, stop it. Your intuition, this rune right here is Ansus, and it deals with intuition, and it was in its downward or unseen position, and it's in its downward as in um oh, well, it's like a reverse card. It's in its downward position. The indication with that is that the messages that you're receiving, you may think, oh, I've got this gut instinct about this. No, you don't. No, you don't. What you're going on is biases and prejudices or preconceived ideas currently. Okay. Your intuition is at an all time low. So, allow yourself to think about things differently. Allow yourself again that flexibility, the ebb and flow, um, rather than trying to hold yourself firm and be like, no, it has to be like this. Not going to happen.
Okay. This is your wish card. It says you can have whatever you want. All you got to do is wish for it. But be careful what you wish for, because you're going to get it. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is not a good month for you to be entering into a romantic relationship. This is a good month to start learning how to have a relationship with the self and with new friends. But don't be trying to get into some type of permanent relationship, because you're just going to be screwing yourself.
Mm-hmm. And I would agree with what you're saying there, Seth. The last rune that I have in this was this one, Othello. And it deals with relationships, but it typically deals with things like your family, your friends, and things like that. Right now, your energy, you will probably find a lot of solace in hanging out with friends and family. Okay, that is where your energy should be kind of being directed currently. Okay, there's nothing of romance in here, but I think a lot of times that our self-chosen family is where we find a lot of our balance, because we choose people who are similar enough to us to reflect back the aspects that we like. And I think that's what you're needing right now, is kind of a mirror of the self.
You're being held hostage, emotionally held hostage by other people's needs and their opinions of you. And it's time to take off the blindfold and look around and walk away from those people that are not cheering you on. One of the things you do have control over is who you allow in your life. You may not have control over other people, but you certainly have control over the kind of energy you bring in. It's time to start bringing in the cheerleaders. You've had enough of the naysayers most of your life. You can do whatever you want. This just occurs to me, this would be a really good time to start educating yourself with something new. Maybe get into college, take some classes, read some new books, get some new ideas going. Stuff that you've always said I would like to know about, it's time to do it. Doesn't matter what other people think. The universe is wide open to you expanding yourself.
This makes a lot of sense too, going back to the very first rune of being stuck in the ice. It may be that you're needing those influences of newness in order to kind of break through that ice. You may need some stuff to provoke different ways of thinking or different thoughts to get you sort of jump started. And so I totally agree with that. Anyway,
that's February.
Aries, thank you very much for joining us, Aries. We appreciate it. If you like the readings, we'd be real interested to know what your opinion is. And y'all have a wonderful night. Take care.